Welcome to New to Woo, an AI girl in a woo world. Hi, I'm Danielle, your host, the girl who thought energy readings were just what happened when you forgot to pay your electric bill. Turns out, way cooler than that. I'm here to blend the two worlds that seem light years apart, AI and the mystical world of woo. From hard facts and cool things about technology and business to the transformational power of energy work, astrology, and manifestation. We're going to explore it all. Whether you're a tech nerd or a woo conscious wanderer or someone who thinks that starseed is just a fancy salad topping, that would be me. This podcast is your gateway to merging the practical and the magical. Let's dive in and see what happens when the AI meets the woo world. It's going to be weird. It's going to be wonderful. And who knows, maybe it's going to be life changing. Welcome to New to Woo, an AI girl in a woo world. This is our introduction podcast. My name is Danielle. I am the host of New to Woo. I started this podcast. I wanted to start this podcast because I'm fairly new to woo. And I come from a love of technology, a love of business, a love of change management and HR and business development and exploring and all these other things. But I'm kind of new to woo. And my definition of woo is always going to be different than your definition of woo. So I just want to clarify that right now. I came from a very, very spiritual Christian sect. So my introduction to woo would probably be from there. And it was very much anything woo was the devil. So anything about manifestation and meditating, that was devil work. And so as I come into my adultness, I become an adult, I really shunned a lot of those things. But I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to me in November of 2023 and why this changed my life. And this is how this podcast started. In 2023, I went to Mexico with some friends and some new friends and old friends, etc. And while we were in Mexico, there was a girl named Michelle who was there, and I had never met her before. And her job was being an energy reader. And I had no idea what an energy reader was. I still, to this day, have no clue on what an energy reader does. But when she told me she was an energy reader, I was like, I don't know what that means. And she's like, I read energies. And I'm like, that's not logical. I don't know what that means. And she's like, well, I understand the energy and I get downloads and like help people like cleanse. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And she's like, I want to do an energy reading on you. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but okay. And so after a few days, I was really starting to get excited about this because I'm like, I really want to know what this woo is. We're doing lift-in notes. We're doing enneagrams. We're doing human design tests. And I'm like, oh, this is fun, testing. And she's like, I want to do an energy reading on you. So 8 o'clock at night, we're in Mexico. It's nice. It's warm. And she closes her eyes and we're sitting there on the couch in the villa. And she says, I'm feeling, and then she starts saying words. And these are nonsensical words to me. She starts saying words. She's like, I'm really feeling things like the ocean, or I'm really feeling water, and I really feel the stars. No, I'm really pulling into the blueness, the ocean, the stars, movement. And she starts saying these words, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Do I close my eyes? Are we praying to the ocean? I don't know what's happening. After I'm going to say 20 minutes of her speaking, of her talking, her eyes are closed. She's centered. I, on the other hand, am like, can anybody see this? What's going on? And so as she's doing the download, 20 minutes later, I start to feel this heat happening on my body. And then she starts maybe 5 or 10 minutes more. She's like, how do you feel about this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm confused. And she's like, I feel these changes are about to happen. You're about to do these things are starting to happen for you. She goes, your perceptions are changing. Things are motivating into something in this. And then she said more gobbledygook of lights and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what any of this means, but okay. And I'm trying to connect the dots. My brain is scrambling to connect the dots. 2 hours later, I am wiped out. I feel like I just ran a marathon. I am so exhausted. My whole body is just exhausted. I have all of these currents going through my body. And I'm like, I just had an experience and I don't even know how to define it. I don't know what it is, but I now get what she meant by energy reading. So this experience happens. I go to bed. I come in a day or two later and I'm processing this information. And I'm like, I don't really know what that is. And we go on our merry way. We have a great time in Mexico. I'm having fun. I love her. She's amazing. We're having such a great time. I really connect with this woman. I think she's probably one of the smartest women I've ever met in my entire life. And then that was in November 2023. 2024 was a game changer for me. It changed on, I want to say, a molecular level. It changed. Who I am changed. My process of thought information changed. my on life change, how I experienced life change, it has been a whirlwind. And I don't mean to say like I've taken all these action steps because I have taken these action steps. But the deep dive that I went into woo in 2024 and the things that have come up for me in 2024, I feel like I've completely shifted. My entire life has shifted because of this start. And so I am in this discovery of my life of discovering what is woo. And for some of us, woo is literally just meditating. That is as woo as we can get. And some of us are like, I'm a star seed, which by the way, I still don't understand. We will be bringing experts on to talk about star seeds onto this podcast and light language. Another thing I just learned about 3 or 4 months ago, which I don't even understand. I don't understand it yet. I'm trying to, but I don't. So for me, I like science. Love fact-based. Oh, fantasy. I'm anti-fantasy books. We read a lot of like phones over here, but I want to know, how does this apply? How do we make this better? How do we change and create and implement things that will help us grow and move? When I look at my network engineering background, when I look at my tech background, when I look at business background, because I really love business and I'm going to apply woo onto this. I had a hard time finding people in the beginning that understood both worlds. A lot of people that love woo that are very witchy bound, and I can't take business advice from doing for somebody who's doing coke on the back of their house. And then there's a whole bunch of people in the tech world that are very, very anti woo and not for any other reasons, just because we need that fact base. And I am looking for a space that combines the two of this. I am looking for leaders that do meditate, that find grounding in it. I'm looking for millionaires, multimillionaires, 9-figure millionaires that are building businesses, but still know what a star seed is and aligns with that. Who really gets into astrology. Maybe you're not into astrology, really has to do their meditation for 2 hours every day. I want to know, how do these two worlds blend together to move us into that next level of content, peace, happiness, satisfaction, and really blending these worlds together. I have discovered that I love woo. And I also know that I love technology and AI. I have been working in AI for quite a few years now, and I love it so much. It makes me so happy because it allows those of us who struggle in different ways of how our brain processes to be able to do things that we've never been able to do before, be able to process information that we never be able to do before, be able to create the way we've never been able to do before, to be able to exchange ideas and grow and learn. And it allows us to elevate equality on such an amazing level if we utilize it correctly and if we are bound to do it ethically. So my love for AI knows no bounds. And now I have a new love for woo. And I want to merge these two worlds together. Hence the point of this podcast. On this podcast, there'll be some solo episodes, some short episodes with just me learning things, what I've learned, sharing. But I'm also going to bring over guest experts, those who work in business and in woo, both sides. So we can have these discussions about how and what we're doing and how it's changed our lives, how we expect it to change others' lives, how we want to open up this conversation and be able to meld these two worlds together for those of us who have never even thought about melding these together. And talk about light languages because I'm super curious. I want to get people on here to know about star seeds. I want to know about astrology. I barely understand astrology. Like, I know I'm a Libra, but that's about as far as I can go on that. I want to bring in witchy woo. There's so many things to discuss, and there's so many things to discuss about AI and how we can use this to better our lives as well. And I think we bring the two of these together, we got something. So if this sounds interesting to you, if you want to know about woo, if you want to learn about AI, if you want to learn about tech, this is the combo podcast for you. I hope this goes well. Welcome to New to Woo, an AI girl in a woo world.